how sometimes whenever you wake up, oh wait a second, I'm getting ready to say something to you. This is what I've been doing, or this is what I started doing when I first realized. Oh no, you're not the same as everybody else. Whenever you talk to somebody and say, like whenever you wake up in the morning and some song is already playing in your head, and da 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 blah, and because I don't know that everybody experiences that or ever experiences it. Not that it happens to me all the time, but I realize, yeah, no, this whole story of we're all the same, I guess, is not the real deal. Since people don't feel things, some don't feel love, apparently, or would feel it as something else and classify it in a different way. That they wouldn't have an actual emotional connection to it because they don't have that mechanism within them. Let's call it a heart for, the sake of, I don't know, making it simple. Poetry. Let's do that, yeah. Because, like, if you didn't have a heart, you couldn't actually appreciate someone who had a heart and felt all that affection and endearment for you, that they cared so very much about you. You wouldn't be able to reflect that back at them, even though they were pouring into you incredible, expensive energy. But now, if you did have a heart, you'd be like, oh, wow, that feels great. And there's like this and that, and golly, gee whiz, can I rub your back? It's that mutual admiration thing that goes on. Not everyone gets to do that. And I was hearing a disturbing story this morning about someone who had returned to their sexual addictions, which, they were saying it's the same as any other addiction, blah, 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 blah. And I don't know what they said, because I said, yes, demons. It's a thing. It's a thing there, coaxing you and pushing you towards this or that, right? If it's not a demon, it's a spirit. And if it's trying to get you to drink whiskey or overeat or this, that, or another, it really, in other words, getting you to do something that's bad for you. Or getting you, even worse, to go do something that was going to be harmful to others. Oh, gosh, I guess that would probably make them feel good. I've seen the face of sadism satisfied. Sometimes it comes in a cute face. I guess there's something more horrific, than whenever you look at something and it's cherubim, and you're thinking, oh, and then the voice comes out of it, and the dagger out from behind his back is still dripping with blood, and the fangs pop out, and the claws are long, and oh no, it isn't what it seemed to be. But that happens sometimes, apparently. I've had a heck of an education, and today all I've been hearing is, 'cause I'm going to make you see there's nobody else here, no one like me. I'm special, so special. I got to have some of your attention. Give it to me. So maybe Chrissie Hynde is in the neighborhood today. Isn't that funny that she made such a tremendous impression with that one song? Not to say that she didn't have lots of good music, because she did. But that one song struck home so hard. It always made me smile so very much. that that they would come out and then this is what they're doing. And it was like so straightforward and honest, and I loved it because it was honest. It was exactly what it was. I want some of your attention. Give it to me. I've had some of these things that I am supposed to discern from this experience is strange. At least what I believe they would have me infer. Some of the manipulators, the ones with iron gloves, who say, you are this and you are that, and you would never hurt a fly, and you would never take a witch or a vampire and put a stake through its heart, because you love them, and you love werewolves, and you love the devil too. That's just how much love you are. And no, I guess not. I guess not. I listened to a little bit of that, and I'm like, oh, you ass. You know, sometimes, and there's this one, I am guaranteeing you I'm going to end up knowing more consciously and more personally, because I've been drawn back to her again and again and again. I'm like, yeah, okay, hey, party girl, because that's what I see again and again and again. I see, hey, party girl, yeah, fun at the beach, and and she's proving that out again and again. I'm looking right through her, but such a shill for Satan. I mean, and see, the reason why I think, oh, I'm going to have to know you in a more conscious way is because of the audacity of it, the straight face, delivery of the thickest lies. That, well, I mean, perhaps they've been able to somehow convince themselves. No, they still think that they're going to, get out on some legality or some loophole or something like that. Well, you know what? Everybody gets to pay for it, one way or another, sooner or later. And that's why I can't worry too much about any of those things. Again, I feel blessed. I give thanks to the good Lord above that I don't have a spirit of vengeance. Because that's not going to get me what I really want and need. That's not to say that justice won't play their part, but they also know my heart and what I would rather have for some of these people rather than their complete, death, doom, and destruction and subjugation to the ends of all of eternity or something. I'd rather, a black thing be turned gray if I had my way. And it didn't cost me anything. In other words, they earned their way through that set of cycles and wheels or whatever it is we had set up for them, so that they can come out of the wash on the other side not so darn dark, right? That's what it is. I had a witch say to me one time, you can't change leopard spots. And I said, well, honey, but I'm paraphrasing, you sure can. It just takes a lot of bleach. And she realized I was right. And I wasn't kidding either. And she said, it would burn though, wouldn't it? And I said, yeah, it would. It sure would. But we could get those spots right the hell out, couldn't we? We could. So yeah, I still have hope in the future because God is good. And He's always good, right? That's the truth. And when I say God, I'm talking about Him who is the God of all light and life. He's all light without any darkness within Him. We're not talking about some other God who's some little dude, all these side players, and there's so many of them, But I'm very grateful that things do seem to continue to improve. And as far as the food thing goes, I think we're getting ready to have our best fast ever, because we're going to not be getting stabbed in our gut, made to wrench, every time, several times a day or something. I think it'll go really well. And I really do believe that we're going to be able to experience an awful lot of, the classic pros of a fast, where, your energy levels go back up and you feel lighter and you've got a lot more drive and clarity, and you feel probably a lot more in connection after the first day or two. You start becoming more and more connected with the spirit. The steeple seems to clear of the fogs around it, and we start picking up all the right signals. My gosh, I was telling you, I don't know if I told it to you. I tried to make 3 videos or 4 videos I tried to do yesterday, and I wasn't satisfied with any of them. And even the last one, I sort of practiced editing and was hacking it a little together. Um, yeah, the phone calls are going to. I think the phone lines are going to start opening up before too long. Only this time, I mean, I was experiencing an old friend or two in the last couple of weeks, just making reference to them again, and I'm amazed, I am, and I feel blessed to be able to have been known by so many really, really good people, and to have known so very many good people. I'm very happy about that. With the other, I hear like, oh, terrible things, like they're tossing themselves down the gutter or something. Again, I don't know what their needs are because I'm not of that kind. My operating system is of light, and that's the difference. If you have a fire operating system or full black dead darkness operating system, I'm not real sure how all that stuff works or what the needs are exactly. But what I heard was basically, and I'm not going to say what they said, but basically they said they went back to their demons, which I'm thinking they've been hanging out with a long, long time. And there was a time where it would have broken my heart to hear such a thing. Absolutely, a tear would have fallen, I'm sure. But I look back to all the experiences I've had, and again and again and again, what I've seen is someone who is painting as a picture for themselves or writing a story for themselves that looked like it only ended in one way, and it couldn't include me. And this thing that happened, which could have done something good for everybody involved, I guess, certainly got shot right straight to hell right at the very beginning. Whenever we started having to, pay for everything and everyone right there at the top, whenever they got hooked in. That really took things down an awful much. And, the people beside them certainly are very much culpable. The Darth Vader figure, I know, was right there beside them all along the way for the longest time, giving them all kinds of advice, probably in between the years that we were, whenever they were off doing their career and everything, So, and I'm sure they were right there alongside helping to steal all that money. I'm going to be holding those people directly responsible for all that rope. I saw that face whenever we were revealed, and the reaction, it might have been a nervous reaction, but boy, still it was as though you were entertained very, very much. So that's something that's burned into our memories. And again, justice is what it is. And I expect, and that I'm fair. You know that. I know you know that. And you know that we're going to expect to be reimbursed for these things. Not that we need anyone to be extinguished for all time, because you do know our heart, but we do need to be reimbursed for those things, and with interest. And we'd appreciate it if that was really generous interest, voluntarily. So, past that, we're pretty happy with the way things are starting to come online here. The energy is different now. We don't feel so pulled down in so very many ways, that's what I was saying the other day. It's many systems seem to be improving and upgrading or healing at the same time. And praise God in heaven for the good life, the good love, and what I might even say is youthful energies. I'm very grateful of that. Like I was saying, they were making references to them and their lusts. Well, like I said, I think our fast is going to go really well, and I don't know what to say about them because I don't know what they need. wish them eternal death, but I think they stepped over to that side. It really does, from everything I can have been presented throughout this little journey, is that, in fact, at the age of 22 or whatever, whenever we were like, okay, that's the end of that dysfunctionality, right? As difficult as it was, they ran off, or 24 or whatever they did. They ran off and did the toe wet sprocket thing and said, yeah, they really wanted to die. And, so they could be as lovely as ever, dark and lovely, forever, like that. Well, but, gee whiz, I don't know, what do you do with that? Other than, hey, how's it going over there? That's a long ways away, isn't it? I'm not coming over there. Never again. We are not coming over there. We can't. Now, if we can ever figure out a way to put a tunnel through the fence that is a washing machine and brings you out the other side, acceptable to the day, or something, like gray, maybe. We could figure that out. We'll get to work on that. Get that machine set up. We'll get with those guys who know how to turn vampires into humans and stuff like that. I'm sure it won't be that difficult to get fixed. Let's hope. But again, you know what else? I mean, these things they were talking about on here, and we were having a little bit of information stuff. And we woke up this morning, and the thing of this is talking about love and this and that. It's just like, I thought the last 20 years was to make us happy with letting go of all physical things. The food, the sex, the love, romance, that is. And so that we'd be happy without all that. And we'd go, well, okay, it don't matter. No, we don't care about any of that. Because that's not where it's at anyway. I mean, that was that when it was. But you got to grow up sometime, don't you? Isn't that what the good Lord wants of all of us? Isn't that what I told everybody way back in 2010? And it's a simple statement. What he wants is just for us to grow up, not down. He wants you to be oriented in the correct direction, upright, towards the light, growing in that direction, letting all your energetic tendrils go up towards him, towards them that is the light, the kingdom of light and life, so that their tendrils reaching down of energy can connect with yours. Are you listening to me, people? Now, that's not to say if what your intention is I'll get, connected to God and I'll drain some energies off him. I strongly advise you not to do that. Not to do that at all. Okay? Remember what the birds of the air feed upon. All right? Remember. Just remember that. Because these things are realities. You can say, well, I've never seen any such blah, 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 blah. It don't matter. There's going to be things that happen that people have never seen. Isn't that the way the story goes? Isn't that what we played right into? Because of everybody's desire for control and to manipulate and greed and all that. Instead of love, peace, and understanding. Straightforward, honest, affirmations, admissions, compromises. Oh, that looked like somebody was trying to take over the world. If you ask me. Boy, it looked like the other side's just run through with ambition. Out of control ambition. That's what I'm guessing. And that's to put it nicely. As nicely as possible. Is Schwarzenegger from Germany? Is that a theme? They keep on going on with that Hitler thing. And I was thinking today, that's right, and they did it with Cartman. He was speaking German. They always make him this Jew-hating German. I don't know what that is. Those people. Could you recommend that to anyone, that South Park show? I can, except that you should be prayed up. You ought to be prayed up. And there's other shows that are just, wow, they're like Family Guy, one of the foulest creations ever. It's poison. It is, but because they got stuff in there that's funny as all get out, but it's also interlaced with all types of societal poisons, and I think spiritual poisons for the people watching it. Yeah, it really is a nasty show. Not that it didn't make me laugh. I could watch some of it right now. I'm sure it'd make me laugh. But then whenever I analyze what this is creating in people, because see, I thought all people were the same. Whenever I watched all this stuff on television, I thought they were reacting to it the same way I was. But there was a lot of them out there that were a lot smarter than me at the time. What can we do with the world that is in such shambles? Or, psychological? Well, I bet you we could sing us some songs. Hey, we could have us we could put on a light show. That's what we'll do. We'll put on a light show, and we'll put on and we'll have some songs, and maybe we'll have us a little play. I think it would be good. I think it would be fun. What do you think? I think it would be fun. I think we could have a good time. We could reignite people out there, or not reignite. We don't want to even use that word, but relight some people out there and put some light bulbs over top of their heads, and have people thinking, hey, we should all wear hokas and be climbing as high as we can into the sky. Yay, yay, to the light we go. Yep, 22 minutes. Well, I think maybe, perhaps, at some point, we will be able to put on a show here not too long. I'm going to make friends with Elon. Elon and I are going to become friends. I want his friendship and help in some of the things I might want to accomplish. And so I'll be probably joining X here before too long. And because, it'll behoove me to have the richest man in the world able to, say, oh yeah, sure, I'd be glad to help you. Well, yeah, and because he's got all that knowledge, he's got all that world knowledge. And I was seeing him on this Rogan thing the other day, which I was going to put it up on the page, but except for the fact that Rogan says the F word at the end of it. And I was like, oh, it was so good. It was a perfect interview right up to that point. It was worth, putting out there. But he's talking about the Starlink thing, and it's like, oh wow, now because of him, the devil that he is. I'm not going to say Elon's a devil at all, actually. I think that he's a guy that could be very beneficial to the side of light, to the day. And I think there's great rewards in that for him. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to want to go along our way. I know that as far as these other people in the world, right, those that are decidedly not going our way, the money is so very important to them, the assets and stuff. It's truly a big thing for them. And that's why I was laughing about whenever they were all getting all out of shape about Elon having $1 trillion. He's going to be the richest man in all the world. I was laughing because, hey, that's what favor does for you. And if you looked at his history and his story, which is like a fable of some sort, yeah, I'll plan on sitting down and talking to the man, actually. I want to ask him about a couple of these, like the astronaut and the Corvette. I heard it on the X. How does success beyond your wildest imagination set with you, is what I'd say to Elon today. Yeah, I don't think he has a yacht. I've never heard one thing about him having a yacht. Of course, he can afford to have a couple of them. But we'll have to talk about that too. Because, if you got a yacht, and of course his would have a helicopter pad on it. Probably some kind of like super helicopter, but can go 1,000 miles, or something like that. Who knows? The Batcopter. Gosh. So, anyway, guys, it's been fun today. And I hope that everything is going well for you, because I know that it's going to start picking up with me and getting better and better and better and better and better and better, because we're going to continue to just rise and rise. In other words, we're going to do what we're supposed to do, what we were always supposed to do. And if we can do something to help these other ones in some way, we will later on as we continue up. But we can't sacrifice ourselves and what God would have us do for the kingdom and all these people that were depending on us because of someone else and their decision to not listen to me. Whenever they said they were going to go off and become an Asian, right? Told me the name they were going to use and what they were going to do. And I said, no. And they were like, why? And I said, don't. Just don't. No, you can't. Well, you said you would. That's different. I'm me. Plus also, it was all tongue-in-cheek anyway. That's the kind of stuff you say whenever you think God's not looking. He's not listening. These are the jokes that he won't hear. And then whenever they talked about having power or testing their powers and this and that, because they made, rumblings about their witchery, I told them, use your powers only for good. No. That's what they said immediately. No. Always the rebel. That's why we didn't stay together at all. Because what? Oh, no, I'm not going to play the authoritarian to the rebel. I'm not going to be daddy to the bad little girl. I will have some other person do that for me. There's others that are more adept at knocking people into their correct place and making them act the way they're supposed to act. They're better at that than me, because I'm really more about, love and peace and building things and being happy and creating happiness. And apparently we've always been helping people all along just because we were here. Not that we wanted to make anyone hot, but apparently it is good for people to cleanse themselves like that. But I've lost my interest in it. You see what I'm saying? We've lost our interest in basically the whole setup. What I've been told by those close to me is we're headed towards a more perfected environment and arrangement. And at which point we could be happy and productive, and also we could be helpful at the same time. Because we're out of the way, out of the fray. We're not receiving bullets each and every day. And by the way, we have been receiving still these minor attacks of some rat bastard touching with their hot. And it's, to me, that's vandalism, isn't it? Isn't that them trying to vandalize? Certainly it's contamination. It's like, you're trying to change my colors. My colors are my colors because that's who I am. That's where I'm from. That's who my dad is. That's my father. That's, So, we're best like this. And that's the way we've already done all our sacrificing. Mr. Starr did say you have to pay your dues to sing the blues. Well, God bless people. We paid my dues, and we paid their dues, and all those people's dues, and a whole lots of dues, and dues and dues and dues. And we paid them and paid them and paid them. And a lot more than we ever were supposed to pay. So we're done paying, and we're done being made a sacrifice. We have repairs to make, and lots of rebuilding, I guess. So, but again, with the help of the good Lord above in the heavens and all their good love, we can regrow this, and it'll be better than before. That's what they told me. We'll have it'll be even better than before. And And of course, I will be better than ever before too, as far as our understanding goes. And we'll continue up because it is exactly what we need. And it is exactly what we want. Because it's like, what do you want? To get closer to God, to be closer to our Father in heaven. We need to be closer to them that are white. We need to be up there. We need to be connected to the good ones. There we go. That's what we're after. I was listening to one of them say not too long ago something about how we're different and how we want other things that other people don't want, and we value things that other people don't value, and the tangible goods and money is something that we aren't really that big on. We're not materialistic. But you know what? The simple fact of the matter is yes, I would be fine with $1 billion. I'd be like, Elon, give me $1 billion, dude. I'll pay you back sometime. And I'd get turned into $2 billion, and I'd give him $1 billion back. Just that easy. Why? Because it would not only give me all the power that I had prior to that, all the authority I had prior to that, but now, perfect ease in getting to anywhere I want at any time, etc., so on and so forth. I can go out and walk along amongst all the crowds of people who go, aren't you him? Whenever I'm famous, and I'll be like, yes. Did Jesus talk to you about me? And then whenever I need to be sequestered away, I can go back to my estate, one of them, and with all the big hedges and the walls and the spiky fence on top of the walls and the electrical things and all the cameras and the security guards that patrol the place, you see, and enjoy my Starlink, right? We got a spaceship to build, I think. God love you and God keep you. And thanks so much for thinking of us and thinking of us well. And thanks for your prayers and your well-wishing. It very much means an awful lot. And it very much helps. It truly does. It really does. And so we love all of you who love us sincerely. And I'm really happy about the fact that we will be together sooner than later. And some of the things that I've been told, that, oh, you'll be able to love because you'll be able to trust people. And then I've scoffed completely at that and thought, well, it doesn't really matter because we've gotten past having to love anybody. We have the light. We have God. We have a whole bunch of stuff to make up for. And, but I'm starting to believe that some of the stuff they've said is true. I'm afraid of some of the other stuff but I think all that's optional. And probably can be arranged in a few different ways. But yeah, we're going to be going forward. And thank you so very much. God love you. God keep you. Each and every last one of you that's been working for us and is on our side. Not against our ascension, because of course it's essential for us being who we're supposed to be, right? God love you. God love you. God love you. I hope to be with you soon.
Well, cool off, Pilgrim.